Good morning, I'm Jay Jones. I'm the President and CEO of the North Clackamas Chamber of Commerce. Hi, Annie. Welcome to today's Business in the County Forum series. Today's about a vibrant economy. This is the first of a three-part series in collaboration with Clackamas County Business Alliance, Oregon City Business Alliance, North Clackamas County Chamber, and Clackamas County. I'd like to introduce today's moderator. The chair of the North Clackamas County Chamber Government Affairs and Public Policy Committee, the development chair for Clackamas Women's Services, is going to be Tina Irvine.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Tina Irvine, the Development Director for Clackamas Women's Services, and I'm also the Chair of the North Clackamas Chamber's Government and Policy Affair Committee. I'm truly pleased to be here this afternoon with each of you, and I'm really happy that I'm able to welcome you to the first of its series, Business in the County Forum. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. Your commitment in strengthening our local economy, supporting the vitality of our communities is essential. We're grateful for our commissioners for joining us today and their continued leadership and partnership. I also want to extend my appreciation to the county staff who's worked so extensively hard to help make this event possible for us today. We're gathered to have meaningful conversation and to help move the county's initiatives forward. I'm excited for the dialogue that we'll share and for the thoughtful questions and perspective each of you bring to us this afternoon. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to recognize elected officials who are joining us today. Your presence reflects your ongoing commitment to the businesses, families, and communities here in Clackamas County. If you are an elected official at any level of our government, city, county, state, or federal, would you please stand and be recognized? We thank you for your leadership, your service, and the work you do to support the well-being of our citizens and the economic vitality of our county. I'd like to remind the audience of our general courtesies and rules of engagement today. Index cards are located at the center of your table. Please do take the opportunity to write down any burning questions that you have in regards to land development for businesses, as well as childcare. When you're ready, please hold your card in the air, and a staff member will then bring those to me, and I will ask them. Before we begin, we're going to run a short video produced by the Clackamas County team as part of their Business Spotlight series. This series and the stories of local businesses that are innovating, expanding, and creating opportunities right here in our community. This special spotlight features Overland Van Project.
We are Overland Van Project, and we build custom camper vans for everyone from retirees to millennials, digital nomads, and world explorers. We have done roughly 350 full builds since our start in 2017. When we started, I was actually building solo out of my garage in Northwest Portland, and it has grown significantly since then. So out here in Clackamas, we have a 30,000 square foot facility with 28 employees. We do about 45 rigs per year, and then we also have a service center where we pull through probably over 100. Our vans and trucks are special because we still offer full custom, which is pretty rare. It's very efficient and profitable to build the same thing over and over. But we don't believe that one size fits all. So we have stuck to our guns on the custom side. While it does have its hurdles, it's been a lot of fun to see more than just the same thing go out the door every day. We were inspired to move into Clackamas County for a couple of reasons. Multnomah County as a whole has been really hard to work with because they keep on adding new taxes. They just basically outpriced us. We couldn't survive there anymore. It was almost an 8.5% tax just to be in Multnomah County. That and our lease was ending. We found out that Clackamas County had an enterprise zone, and that urged us to look over here and move into Clackamas. And so that was a really, really good decision for our employees, for the company, and we ended up with a larger space, almost 30,000 square feet, for about the same price as you could get 20,000 in Multnomah County. So it really worked out well for everyone. The Enterprise Zone is a really fantastic program that Clackamas County offers. What it does is it helps to mitigate a lot of the costs that goes into moving. There's also renovation costs. We invested $800,000 into this building and a bunch of new equipment. So the Enterprise Zone allows you to not have to pay taxes on those or defer taxes on those for a certain number of years to delay or decrease that burden. The grant was actually a bit of a surprise to me. The economic development team, because we're part of the Enterprise Zone, sent us an email. It was really, really good timing. Before we got the grant from Clackamas County, we were having to subcontract out to various metal shops to get even the smallest brackets built. And since receiving the grant, we've been able to hire 2 more people, which has been fantastic. We've got a welder and a brake press operator, and we've been able to bring 1 person up internally to have more responsibility.
We have a lot of custom things that we build inside of the shop or have to modify, especially with the big trucks that we're starting to build now. So one of the first things we used the grant for was a couple additional welding machines within the shop. So we were able to do some of that custom fabrication in-house.
There, yeah, in the back.
When we realize that there's a metal interference, so if we need to mount a bracket in this spot, but there's a tab right here, we can go in and cut that off pretty easily, make a new bracket for whatever we're mounting into that spot, instead of having to schedule a week out for our outsourced welder to come in and do all that work for us. I can just give that project to my welder in the shop, and he can knock it out in a couple minutes as opposed to having to wait a week or 2 for somebody else to come do it. So in addition to having the fabrication capabilities, the hire that we made for that is also a great mechanic, so he can help out with other stuff like suspension upgrades on some of the vans, in addition to doing the fabrication side of things, which has helped increase capacity not only for our normal builds that go through the shop for OVP, but also for our special projects division, which does like upfitting and repairs on vans that are already pre-built, or even from other vendors that come to us for repairs and upgrades and stuff like that.
As far as our bottom line goes, these changes have been pretty recent, but I can already see that the effects down the road are going to be really, really beneficial come the end of the year, just because we've been able to accelerate timelines, get things out the door faster, and really, spend less on fabrication. I would say we'll have a savings of 50 to 100 grand in fabrication work by the end of the year, which is not nothing. Besides the grant and the Enterprise Zone, Clackamas County has a few other benefits that really make it easy to do business here. And I think that's evident because you see a lot of really big industry, a lot of big companies are in this central location. The talent is much better and harder workers, and they really care about the finished product.
Thank you to Overland Van Project for making Clackamas County your home. As we're here at Clackamas Community College, I think it's important that we plug that they have an incredible skilled trades program, several certificates that absolutely lend to the vitality of this community, and I'm just incredibly thankful for them and for their growth of that program. I would now like to invite to the stage with haste to make their opening remarks your Clackamas County Commissioners. Commissioner Savas, Commissioner West, Commissioner Helm, Commissioner Schrader, and Chair Roberts.
not just a Clackamas County issue at this point, it's a statewide issue. I know our chamber work with us right now in economic development than ever before. And we're looking for any opportunities we can to enhance development and opportunities and bigger paychecks for people who are workers and whatnot. So I just want to say that I'm really excited with our team. We have done a lot of great work here in the last few years, unprecedented, my 15 years on the commission, and we are building momentum, and I think we have a team here where we work together really well, and that's being noticed, and I think that's the kind of energy we need, and a positive environment to convey to our businesses, and I do know that each of us are very focused on building business and making it a better business environment. So that's what I have for you.
Okay. Thank you for being here, taking time out of your busy days. I think the video where Dustin was just featured with the camper business overall, I think it speaks to what makes Clackamas County successful and unique and our culture around business and development. What is that? One, we're open for business. Two, we want to create an environment and culture where job creators and innovators and investors can thrive. We want to get out of the way of business so that they can do what they do best, and that's grow the economy. We're a pro-growth county, and we're not afraid to admit that. We believe that profits and successful businesses need strong communities. And that's just different culturally than what you might see to the larger county to the north. I think Dustin spoke to that impact in his and what his reality was as a business owner. We just do it the Clackamas County way. And this board is the most functional group of people, professional group of people that I've ever served with, moving in a common direction, making sure that we are passing and promoting policies that improve the county, that are partners with business. You'll hear me say this all the time. We recognize that it is not only important to be able to sign the back of the paycheck, but it is essential. It takes a lot of effort to sign the front of one also. And in this county, we will never be antithetical or adversarial to business and its growth, and we will work to create a culture throughout the entire county that helps make sure that you are successful, and that is a key component and focus of the board to look at our strategic goals. That is absolutely something we're focused on. All five of us in unison working on your behalf and understanding the important role of economic development and growing it, because when you grow the economy, not only does it help everybody, but it also helps the worker. We gotta grow the economy so we get more jobs. We can have more trades. We can have more education at Clackamas Community College for skilled workers. We have to grow our way out of the doom loop. We have to be attractive to investors, and we have to do it differently than what we see in neighboring jurisdictions in Clackamas County and go into that. Oh, you have a mic.
I have a.
Just give me the mic.
I have a mic, and I always hate talking after Ben because he's so good. No, one of my focuses, obviously, having been a small business owner in Clackamas County, is being a champion, not just for small business, they are the engines that run our community, but also for large businesses as well. I think economic growth in our county is absolutely necessary to keep this county afloat. We need jobs. We need people, we need houses built. We talked about getting out of the way, and one of the things I know we're working on is trying to relieve some of the permitting pressures, some of the red tape, the hurdles for people to come in and open new businesses. I know we're tough on staff. We keep going and saying, come on, make this easier for us, make it easier for them. We want people to come to Clackamas County, and we're trying to make it as inviting as possible. I know that from my standpoint, I think that there's a lot of different things to work on, but this is key to making our county as successful as possible. You covered everything. I just hate it when you do that. But no, we all have kind of our pet projects we're working on, and I know that land use is a big issue as well. We have to tackle where we can put these businesses. I know some of you know we don't have a parcel larger than 5 acres to put a business on right now in Clackamas County. We're working on finding more land. We're working on redevelopment potential, and there's a lot of different areas where we can do that. So. This is going to be a really exciting couple of years. I think you're going to see a lot of great things happening, and this team of people here, they are the best.
Well, it's great to be here today, everybody. You always know where I'm going to sit because I have a stool and a pillow. And I'm about as tall as most 6th graders, which is a blessing and a curse sometimes. But I'm here to tell you that, in my estimation, I've been here a while. This is one of the best and most functional commissioners that I've ever had the opportunity to work on. We're all in alignment. We have a fantastic, knock it out of the park strategic plan. We have Gary Schmidt, who keeps telling us to stick to the strategic plan. And we also have folks that work with us that help us do the best we can do. And I'd like you to give them a hand because they're all sitting at this table. But there's, and you too, my dear friend Dylan, who helps us up here as well. But we all know that without the people we work with, we wouldn't be able to accomplish everything we do. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about one of the things that I think has been important, and for me, I think it's going to be a legacy project. One of the things that I've been working on, and it's been a result of my work at the national level, with the Economic Mobility Leadership Task Force of the National Association of Counties. And what we found out is what helps people move up the prosperity ladder. Okay, it's housing, it's education, it's financial literacy, it's food security, it's good jobs, and with the business community, that's where you come in with the good jobs. But all these other things also have a real key part in moving people out of generational poverty. So that's what I've been focusing on. So it is all these things, but one of the specific areas that I've looked at very closely, believe it or not, is childcare. One of the things we found out at the national level and here locally is that we are a childcare desert. And specifically, thanks to the wonderful team, we're starting to integrate what that might mean in order for you to make the jobs, but in order to enable folks who want those jobs, who have small children, to get those jobs, work those jobs, and have the confidence that their children are being cared for, and that they can work, and they can be good folks for you and good employees. So that, in a sense, is why we're trying to ensure that every generation gets financial well-being, and that the generation before them is essential for lifting our communities to achieve economic prosperity. So let me tell you the one goal I've been working on in this issue. Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, then you'll ask me questions about our issue. Okay. Hopefully that will be intriguing. Thank you.
It looks like I got one. Well, good afternoon, and again, my name is Craig Roberts, and I'm very honored to serve as a Clackamas County Chair, and just to kind of give you some highlights. It has been a tremendous opportunity to work with my colleagues here, and one of the things that after taking office is you can do a lot of things somewhat halfway, I'll call it, or you can really be laser focused and do things really well. And what we did really to kick it off is we held roundtables around the county, we did online surveys, we really wanted to listen to the public as to what their priorities are. We then took all of that input, we went on a retreat, and we sat around the table and we really came up with a clear strategic plan with goals and objectives and a timeline to accomplish those. And I think that's really important because it really holds all of us accountable. And one of the things that people have often said to me, Robert, slow down, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I said, no, it is a sprint because government moves at a snail's pace. And we really have to step it up. And so what I'm really thrilled about is just some of the economic development. I mean, it is the driver of what makes our economy great. And that is why one of the big things, we all came together and we're doing this business spotlight. We owe businesses because they are the driver. They hire the people, and we need to do whatever we can to expand it. And so we so much believe in that. And then also, secondly, is really addressing the concern that we all have. And I know a lot of my colleagues on this board have a deep heart for that, and that is for people that struggle with mental illness, addiction, and really we are stepping that up. That is a big priority. Our homeless. Many of you might not be aware, our fastest homeless population are seniors. I mean, it is tragic, and we really have to step our game up. And how do we accomplish it? Simply put, it's by you. It's by us working with the community to solve these complex problems, because we are not going to solve it on our own. And next week, I'm jazzed about this meeting. We have a meeting with all the healthcare leaders, the CEOs at Kaiser, and Legacy, and Providence. We're coming together, and we want to listen to what the concerns are, how we can maybe take some of those things and work together to solve them, because it is a priority in our county. So I'm really jazzed. I'm excited. We're making a lot of progress. We have a lot to do. We have a long ways to go. And the last thing I kind of want to say is that it's not just about Clackamas County either. Last night I met with the mayor of Portland, Keith Wilson. I know Ben's met with him too. And what happens as a region impacts Clackamas County. So if Portland doesn't succeed, that does have an impact on us. And so that's why it's really important that we're working with our metro partners. We're working with our legislature. I got to give a shout out to our legislators. I mean, they have just rocked it for us. I mean, we've got just recently another $5 million for a recovery center. I mean, yeah, give it to Mark's here today. Thank you, Mark. And I mean, and it is by working together that we're accomplishing that. So I'm thrilled to be working with my colleagues. We're making a lot of progress, and just appreciate all of you showing up today. So thank you very much.
So we're going to kick it off. Please do be reminded of your question cards on the table. Once you've written your question, if you just hold that card up, we'll go ahead and grab those so that I can get those questions going. But we'll get started today with your strategic plan, specifically covering our economic vitality. So available land for business development by 2028, in conjunction with our communities and partners, the county will work to increase available land to retain, expand, and recruit new businesses. So the question is, and please do try to keep it to 2 minutes. I know it's hard, but this will allow us to get to the questions today. How is the county evaluating which areas are most appropriate for business expansion or new development?
May I? Because I've been working closely with our economic development people, and this is some of you know that a lot of Clackamas County is in metro, and the UGB hinders our use of land here, of course, and we have a work group was put together last year, I believe it was, to do a study of what lands are available in Clackamas County for industrial land. And we're taking our own map, we're doing our own study, and we're overlaying that with the metro map so that we can identify which lands are going to be available. And we are working hard on this. I know Laura, the rest of the team in economic development is working on a map that we can see. Okay, in the middle of it. All right, thank you. This is something that we are identifying. The study is almost done, and once we do that, we are going to be able to open up some land for more development in Clackamas County. Pretty excited about it. Go ahead. What is this?
Can you pass your microphone to Commissioner Thomas?
Oh, okay.
I think Commissioner Helm did a good job responding to that. I want to just add a couple things. We consider infrastructure and our local cities and as part of the solution. So the infrastructure is one of the building blocks. So when all of our staff are done bringing us all this data, we're going to be looking at what infrastructure is in place, what's needed, what's the likelihood or timeline in which that infrastructure could be, in the absence of, that could be added to make it viable. We have a lot of land that is really locked up because there's not a lot of transportation linkages to that. Sunrise Corridor is a great example of that, and we're working hard on that. We're making a lot of great progress, but for the 15 years I've been here, sometimes these lands are, there's advocacy groups that really want to keep them as they are and don't want to develop, and that's more of an issue with the local cities. But there again, we're looking at it strictly not from a political level, but from an infrastructure, land availability, what's the best likelihood, where's the low-hanging fruit, how do we get something done and get it done soon?
Thank you. So the next question pertains to childcare. Martha, now's your chance. By 2027, in conjunction with our communities and community partners, the county will develop strategies to retain, expand, and recruit new childcare opportunities. The question is, the cost of childcare in preschool is conservatively about $800 per month or per week in the county. What ideas, beyond asking employers to pay for providing employee childcare, are being considered?
Well, one of the things we're looking at is what I would like to truly do would be done for us to pull the committee together, the employers, and talk about what their childcare needs are, and help them co-design the system one way or another, where we can be working together in conjunction with business and other communities. The capacity in the area. I think we all know, quite frankly, this is a county where it's tax averse, and whether or not we can get additional revenue is really going to be necessary. The input from the business community to co-design a solution for this. It's called appreciative inquiry, where we include everybody in the discussion, because then when people have buy-in, but what those strategies would be, they are more than willing to step forward. Let me tell you a little bit about some stats I think that might interest you. In Clackamas County, only 21% of children under 12 have access to child care. And as you said, the next average cost of child care under 3 is about $2,000 per month. And those who are in counties paying 17% of their income for child care, high above the 7% affordability measure. And what we're doing is tying this to manufacturing specifically, because we do know in Clackamas County, manufacturing employs essentially over 8,000 people, with earners in the manufacturing center from $3,000 to over $500 a month. So right now we're focusing on childcare in our childcare deserts, 3 zip codes, Clackamas, Milwaukee area, and the Pasadena area. And in those areas, there are over 3,000 workers of family needs in the manufacturing industry. So we're trying to take a look at where the need is in the manufacturing industry, and then we're working with our human resources and economic development folks to come up with the larger strategies and the data of where these are, well, again, what the land availability is, and then looking at what's going on at the state level for regulatory reform, so it's easier to build and construct the capacity we need in order to get this early childcare initiative going.
And just to give a shout out to Martha, she has been the child care leader of the county, so thank you, Martha. And just want to add a couple points. There is some, let folks know, there are some SHS dollars that housing services dollars for child care programs, and part of which I want to just highlight some of the successes of those, just that they have one program that's so flexible, claim assistance funds for child care. And it is critical. The population we're focused on is those that are homeless and preventing more from becoming homeless. And I'll just give you an example of a story where husband and wife had one child, they ended up with divorce, separated mom ended up with one child, and suddenly having to do child care, trying to work and survive. And it was financially impossible. Right? And so in that case, for example, we were able to provide these flexible dollars for child care, work on some transitional housing, and then also actually finally move her into permanent housing, and she's full-time employed. So keeping those individuals really, and helping them through this, navigate through the system, because I can just say I had 3 kids, and my wife worked. It was unfortunate. I kept saying it. Is it really worth it to have you work? And so I know single parents out there are really struggling, and this really is important. And I really believe we really got to think outside the box. And part of which is, I look back in World War II, Eleanor Roosevelt, my idol, right? During World War II, she actually was the leader in childcare. So we needed women, basically, in the workforce. Rosie the Riveter, women welding on the ships, which my grandmother was one of them. But they had children, and they created child care programs so that they could help support the war. And those are the kinds of things we really need to think about and really partner. I mean, I look down here at Kaiser, I keep looking at it because there's such a huge economic driver in our community. Could there be something we could work together on child care? And it would help support their employees, maybe other businesses. And that's where I think bringing some of those businesses together to talk about that and figure out, well, what can we do? And it is, in these days and times, I can't emphasize this enough. Economically, right now, people are struggling. And we just need to really be creative. One of the other programs I got kind of gas about, and just talking to moms about this, and it's kind of a mom share program, where a group of moms get together. They basically, some of them work from home, but they rotate taking care of the kids. And they adjust it based on their schedule. So it's really a group of moms working together to both work and help take care of their kids as a group. So all of those things I think are critically important to look at all those options on the table, because it is really, again, so important in our community and our businesses. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chair Roberts. Commissioner West.
I concur with my colleagues on this. The truth is that we're not going to tax our way out of this. Lord knows we already have enough of that in Oregon. We're not going to mandate our way out of this. It can't be top down. And government can't solve it alone, for sure. So it's going to have to be a collaborative partnership, not just with business and job creators getting creative with elected officials like Senator Marks and Meeks and the rest of the legislature and from the state, but it's going to be community-based. The community's got to take care of each other. Neighbor has to take care of neighbors. And then we have to get creative as a team to figure out how to solve this problem. We have to treat each other a little bit more like family, and make sure that we have to take care of the kids that are coming up behind us. And we used to do a better job of looking out for one another. And so it's coming together, being honestly creative and innovative with the economy that we face today. Lord knows it's changed a lot since COVID. It's much different than when my parents were in the workforce. But how do we come together and solve this for our time period? And it can't be mandated, it can't be taxed, it has to be the Clackamas County way. And it has to be people in this room having these conversations and making it a priority. And I think we are prioritizing that as a board because we realize that without this essential component, the workforce is struggling and already struggling. We already have a lack of workforce in so many critical areas, but then that all goes downstream. But like so many things, it just starts with the community and your neighbor and your family. And so we should start building from there and then work as a team with that being our central focus.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You couldn't have said it better, Ben. This has to be a collaborative effort. This is not an initiative to raise taxes. It's looking at the systems, collaboration. It's looking at what's being already done out there. The human services folks are already doing that. We're assessing, the number of childcare centers, what it costs. They're looking at seniors that have a childcare on campus. And one of the things I wanted to share with you is the Bureau of Labor and Industries at this point in time is looking at a new childcare for construction toolkit that is helping to spread the word about financial assistance for childcare. So that's also part of it, and the financial assistance for families, and then building the physical capacity. And so this information is going to be shared with our networks of apprentices and journey workers. We'll be posting it on social media, including in newsletters. We'll encourage anyone eligible to apply for child care assistance. And we will also be working very, very closely with our Educational Service District. Mr. Bidway is on board with this, and he's been a champion, as well as all the other superintendents in our districts because they see this as a huge issue for parents. And thank you, Ben. It is going to be a collaborative.
So one of the additional questions that's coming forth to regards to childcare specifically is twofold. I'll use an example. When my young son was growing up, his nanny has since gone on. She went and was able to provide herself with the opportunity to open her own child care center. She went to a community college, she was going to school there, and one of the professors identified her as an emerging leader and helped her through a program to help her start her own child care facility down in Bend. And now she is looking to bring that same model to Canby, which is an amazing asset that we have added. One of the things that she's expressed, and this card will touch on that, is that there seems to be an excessive amount of regulation, and that has become prohibitive for individuals to open their own individual centers. So what can a commissioner do to help alleviate some of that burden, and or what other models have been explored to help eliminate and bring more childcare to our rural communities?
Thank you for the question. I haven't spoken to this, and that has come up in recent interview questions recently. And I will say that my mom, I'm oldest of 7, my mom babysat kids. When I left the home as a teenager, she was still babysitting kids. That was a long time ago, obviously. But the regulations, I talked to people that had daycare facilities who paid the insurance and had to struggle with the regulations, expressed that was one of the things that really ultimately closed their doors. They had to close their doors because they could not cope with that. So I think as county commissioners and local leaders, and having that interface between businesses that want to be a startup or businesses that are trying to hang on, we can be a voice to our state legislators, right? We can try to bring those experiences forward to make them aware. And I'll say it's coalition building, but in a sense it really is. How do we get more attention drawn to this? And I know our state legislators are paying attention, but as you know, come next year they're going to have a couple 3,000 bills before them, and they're all going to champion something. But it's overwhelming sometimes. I hope this does not get lost in the shuffle, and our advocacy at the commission level, I think, can raise that at a higher level, so all can be seen and focus on that.
I'm going to go a little away from the daycare topic, but it's similar in culture to what we're trying to deal with. And maybe this will be a theme that comes over and over again this afternoon is we're trying to build a culture where the administrative state and the bureaucracy doesn't crush good people who pay the taxes to make sure their government works. Especially Commissioner Hellman and I lately, and I know people all find this, but I have a specific quick story with Commissioner Hellman and I. We were super excited about a few hundred brand new units to be built on 3 acres of county property in prime location and put it back on the tax rolls. So it gets back on the property tax rolls, so win for the county, and we're building a significant amount of high quality housing because Lord knows we're in a housing crisis. The board's excited, we get proposals in, the board says we're going to go with that builder. The builder gets going, they go to the county, and it just kind of grinds to a horrific halt through permitting and talking past one another, things not making sense, but the regulation is interpreted a certain way, and the administrative state just begins to just muck and gum things up to where that essential project that your elected officials were championing gets steered away, halted, or incapacitated because of the government. And the boards were like, you know what? Like, how did this even happen? We were so jazzed about this. We pull everybody back in the room. We pull in the bureaucrats, we pull in the administration, we bring in the builder. We said, what happened to the pro forma? And we were excited, and they laid out, like, we just hashed it out, and we just got to work. Because everybody wanted to get to the same place. But this is almost like a function of government, is to inherently just get in the way. It's like, I mean, that's like the definition of bureaucracy. When I say the word bureaucracy, what do you think? Everybody. Regardless of party, it's like, right? And so So in this situation, he's got everybody in the room. Commissioner Elm and I were like holding the county accountable, holding ourselves accountable, listening, and not just listening because it was our job, but listening because we intently cared about what the developer and the builder and the job creator was trying to do. We just got word the other day that because of that effort, they're bringing back the project, which I guarantee you that either county would be dead. The project's coming back. Houses of, hundreds of housing units. But why do I get back to that? Because with whatever it is, if it's childcare, if it's building development, if it's advanced manufacturing, if it's healthcare working with Kaiser, if it's all these things that we intersect with, because if you don't believe it or not, counties do a lot. It feels like we're like the kitchen sink of government. Boots on the ground. We gotta create a culture that says, how do we get to yes for you and make sure you're the customer and make sure that we're not trying to like be impractical or do things that just don't necessarily make sense or aren't common sense, and just say, half the time, how do we get out of the way? And how do we like start looking very pragmatically? How do we cut the red tape? And Oregon just has not really taken that path in a long time. Like, let's just be honest, businesses are leaving for a reason, economic doom loop, 88 out of 81 in real estate investment, yet the rest of the country seems to be expanding. We're like contracting over here. And so, I don't want to go on too long, but I think it's a cultural shift, and it starts with the commission leading differently, and then holding our organization accountable to make you all more successful.
Thank you, Commissioner West.
I really don't know. Fantastic. I just want to make it brief comment. Yes, regulatory reform, absolutely, but the child care piece has to happen. And it doesn't mean that we give up safety. It means that we really look at what works and what doesn't. And the team that we have, our implementation team, child care that we're working on, is actually going to look at that piece as well. Not just these other pieces of pulling together a system, but actually real regulatory reform that will not burden people who need to operate these centers, but will be sensible and safe. And as I said, just one last year, we do an implementation team working on it, and it's not only with human services, again, we're seeing the connection and looking at more here with economic development, so you can have people who can get to a job, and that you can employ, and everybody moves up to prosperity.
Thank you. We're going to shift gears a little bit so we can talk about land and development. This is the pile. So I've consolidated a few of these, so I'm going to ad-lib a little bit. But the county has a significant goal in this economic development, specifically with advancing and developing land use. How are you all working along the city leaders for alignment and conjunction as your plans overlay with theirs?
So I've been in contact with the cities, and I'm typically in contact with the cities as one of the co-chairs of the Clackamas County Coordinating Committee, where we meet once a month with the cities on whatever issues, and typically that's been land use and transportation, and that's expanded in the housing crisis and the healthcare and the social, SHS dollars, supportive housing services dollars, and a number of things. So we are, we're branching out into areas that are important to all of us for the sake of the county and the betterment of our community. So recently, with the economic development stuff, as I mentioned earlier, on the state level and locally, Westside Economic Alliance, Metro, we're all really doing this eco-devo, economic development dive, if you will, and land use and land readiness is going to be part of that. Well, as I mentioned earlier, state law, we have to be partners with the cities. The cities have to be the partner in which moves forward a concept plan, has to be a willing partner, and we don't have that exclusively in Clackamas County. So I know the state's put a lot of pressure on the cities, and this has been something that's going on a long time. And some cities have responded and say, we're going to build, we are going to do that. And then some cities are just saying, no, we're not going to grow, or we're not going to grow in this area, whatnot. So that challenge is constant. But in my recent conversations, getting to the question, I think we need to do more teamwork with them directly, with the mayors, because at the C4 table, it's not just mayors, but they're a critical part of it. And sometimes they assign maybe a counselor or so forth, but I think we need to have a specific dialogue. And I brought forth the concept of having an economic forum here a couple months ago. And I'm hoping we can do that. We did it a long time ago. I think we did it at Merrillhurst, where we really brought together all the leaders, city, county, and so forth, and really talked about what we can do and what the barriers are. And land use is certainly a hot topic right now. And we have to remind the state that, again, infrastructure, transportation, natural gas, water, sewer, all those things are designed and built on a certain growth rate, and that growth rate is set by PSU. But the governor, with her housing mandate, no, I'm not critical of that, but that housing mandate is actually imposed an artificial growth rate that our infrastructure development has not foreseen. So now we have to figure out where those dollars are going to come from and how we make up that capacity issue. So we're having those dialogues, and actually along with the Association of Counties and League of Oregon Cities, but it's coalition building time. We'll build a coalition around this, and we'll get it done.
Just really quick, Clackamas County has, I believe, a stellar relationship with the cities within our borders. There's technically like 16 of them, but some of them are like 100 people, like River Road's important too, but there's like 14 or so cities, somewhere around that number that we all work with, all different competing interests. We also, the largest populations in incorporated Clackamas County. We work super well together, and one of the biggest things that show how well we work, that was absolutely an epic win for the county, is we were the spearhead. This is Jamie's work. I mean, honestly, this woman's, this woman's ability, don't try to go Jamie, don't feel traumatized. I promise you. Like, see how the legislature and the governor ended up on the tolling issue if it wasn't for Jamie's work. She led this county initially with the strategy and the work, and her work was just stellar. She doesn't get enough praise for that. We were the spearhead because of a great staff like Jamie that allowed us to fight tolling. Then we went to the legislature after we fought the NEPA, right, the issue we were battling and going through the NEPA process. We went to the legislature and said, here's our 40-page document that pushes back against this bad tolling scheme. Mark Meeks was one of the leaders in the legislature working with our caucus and our 16 cities galvanized with us. They take on the governor and the legislature, and what everybody said was impossible to stop. Well, it's gone. Also, we play that forward. Mark Meeks just worked to have that entire language removed from the recent transportation package. It's not even in legislation or statute anymore because it's Senator Meeks' work. But all of that happened with a galvanized relationship with the cities, a galvanized relationship with the Clackamas caucus. And I don't know if you've been noticing lately, but most of the news about our county is pretty good, pretty effective. We're really adults in the room, we're firewall against really bad policy that Oregonians don't like. And I bet you there's some other counties right next to us that would love to have a good media. But that's all because of relationships and collaboration, and often just like putting the party hat, leaving it at home and just saying, we've got good local work to do. And there's a lot of us that do it together, arm in arm. And we have talented staff, we have competent commissioners on the board, we have great partnerships with the legislature, and we value the relationships with the city. And you guys all get to feel the difference in your everyday lives because tolling's not going to be on I-205. And so I think that is the core of how we governed in the county and supported businesses through these policies is through those collaborative relationships.
So Paul mentioned C4, which I attend every month as well, a couple of times. What we're hearing from the cities regarding land use is the mandates that are coming down from the state. They're not reasonable. For instance, I'll take the city of Malala, which they're ready to expand. They want to expand their UGB, but where they want to expand their UGB is where their wastewater treatment system is already connected to. DLCD wants them to put it on the other side of the city where there are no pipes at all. And it just, these types of land use laws that make no sense and are going to take years and years and years. We need to work better with the legislature. We need to bring our cities together. We need to have a come to Jesus meeting with the state is what we need to do. And say, work with us. We want to do it. The cities want to do it, most of them. But give us the tools and take away the hurdles so that we can actually get it done. That's what we hear, is that they want to do it, but don't say we have to put our new growth on the opposite side of the city where all of our infrastructure is. So those types of things just don't make sense. So I think having that collaborative voice, that unified voice, I think we're all on the same page. To me, it comes down to pragmatism. Comes down to what makes sense. It comes down to what can and can't be done. It's pretty simple. And it has to pencil, right? It has to pencil for the cities, for the builders. It has to make sense on paper. And we want to make sure that happens. So I think there just needs to be a much larger conversation about it. I was at the Capitol a week or so ago, and there's chatter about our state land use laws maybe being a bit antiquated. Maybe we need to take a look at it again, right? Maybe. So they're working on it, but it's such a large beast to take on, but we have to all be on the same page when we move forward on it, and I'm right there.
I hesitate to say I've been on the commission so long. I remember when there was not a Clackamas County Coordinating Committee, and Paul, you were not a commission yet. And I remember the lift it took to get that going. And now, after 20 years, it's become probably one of the biggest forces that we have in our county for going to the legislature and lobbying and actually coming together, rural, urban, and suburban communities. Never done it before. I mean, you have to understand, we've got one side of the county, highly urban and suburban economic engine, and then we do have the largest rural population of any county in the state of Oregon, believe it or not. So I want to mention that don't forget the rural communities as our cities as we work with them, because we have significant industrial hubs in Sandy and Estacada and Canby. And as we're looking at our land use issues within the urban growth boundary, and that's what, Laura, you've been looking at, and Jamie and all our good folks there, it is booming in Estacada, Sandy, okay, and Canby. So we have to start thinking outside of the box and not just keep it the conversation within the UGB, because we cooperate now with all these cities. They like us, they want us there. It wasn't always like that. We were kind of the bad guys, more than once. But now, with that development and our workforce board is noticing this, when we're looking where the growth and expansion is happening for businesses, we seem to be going, south towards those actually rural hubs that are absolutely rocking and rolling it. And Commissioner Helm, I know that you visited Estacada. You saw what they did. You've seen all those. There's in Canby. We all visited there recently as well, Dragonberry Produce, and that's where I think we also have to keep looking for economic development and growth, not just within the UGB, but let's pay attention to our rural cities and our rural communities.
Thanks. I was just going to add one little comment, and that was, and this is something that we just had addressed recently, and I thought it was really a great conversation amongst the entire board, and kind of really how we are looking to solve solutions. So this had to do with just a simple mandate that came from the state and to do a new development that reducing the parking for some of these multi-family structures, pushing it onto the street, right? And I can just tell you, I know in areas where it does cause a lot of congestion. And so we are limited. That is a state mandate. We have to follow it. It's the law. But one of the things we are looking at is what can we do with that? And that's talking with our legislators, looking at what are some of those alternatives. So in some situations it might work, in others it won't. And I can just give you one personal example. As the former sheriff, in one city they implemented that, but there was no parking. Let me tell you what, you can drive through that street today, cars park in every direction, and they want public safety to enforce it. And that was created by really, what I believe is poor planning and not really thinking for the future, and it continues to be a problem. So we want to be conscientious as we move forward and plan for the future and make sure that there is adequate parking, and that we're not jamming the parking on the road. So the board together, we decided, hey, let's dedicate staff to look at what steps we can take to address that, even though that's mandated right now. We might be talking Mark or looking at some solutions down the road. But I just want you to know, we just don't roll over and give up just because that's the way it is.
So we have just a few minutes left. The time goes quickly when we're talking about things we love. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Commissioner West, and if you could just give us your 1-minute lead out and pass the microphone down, that would be lovely.
I just really value the opportunity to speak with all of you today. And once again, like, it's no small feat to show up and to listen to 5 politicians bloviate about how wonderful they think the work they're doing is. I don't know if you've ever, you know, you have maybe a glance for punishment, but we really appreciate you engaging with us. This is your county. It's not our county. You and the rest of the members that are the residents that call Clackamas County home, we work for you. And we're just really trying to be balanced, pragmatic, and responsive. And we take that very seriously every day. We read your emails, we listen to your comments, call our personal cell phone numbers, and we want to be partners with you. And so as we move forward, I know that this board is committed to being pro-growth. We got to grow. We got to grow the region. We got to show that we're open for business. We want people to hang their shingle in Clackamas County. You listen to Dustin. He picked us on purpose. There was real ramifications from being just across the border. That's on purpose. Those are policy decisions. Those are leadership decisions. Those are cultural decisions. Right now we know that people are flooding and fleeing and leaving Oregon, which is crazy because we're the most beautiful, bountiful states in the nation. We're one of the most spectacular places on planet Earth. And for whatever reason, we're losing population. So much population is projected we lose a congressional seat. That's less representation. That's the wrong direction. But if they're not leaving Oregon, they're going to 2 places. Well, if they leave Oregon and they want to stay in the region, they're going to Clark County, right across the river. But if they're not leaving Oregon, they're coming to Clackamas County. Every economic indicator shows Clackamas County outperforming the rest of the region, and that is on purpose. That is sound, strong, pragmatic, consistent, reliable, responsive leadership from your local government. And so we're committed to continuing that. We are proud of that. We still have a long ways to go before we're thriving again and expanding, but that's our goal, and in partnership with you, we'll get there.
So because this is a business crowd, I want to give a big shout out to our Office of Economic Development and all the good work they do. We have business development grants available, and a lot of the public doesn't know this. You saw the video, the enterprise zone. Some of these people are caught off guard when we call and say, do you know that this is available? We have grants available. So the Business Development Grant Program, this year we committed $650,000 in state lottery funds to help traded sector businesses expand, relocate, and grow operations here in the county. These are companies that export goods outside of our region, and they employ living wage jobs. We have living wage jobs. We also have the workforce development grants. These are provided for students, and they take care of things like paid internships and apprenticeships and tools and even childcare, and then the enterprise zones like you heard from the Overland Dam Project. We are committed to growing business in the county, and I think that is a huge focus. It will uplift everyone. Everyone needs a good paying job so that they can support their families, so they can pay their bills, and AI will not take over, because if people start thinking about it, the very people that we're eliminating jobs from are the very people these companies are going to need to buy their product who won't have a job. So it's another thing we're looking at too is AI and putting some guardrails on that. Anyway, I just want to give a big shout out to our Economic Development Department. They are doing a fantastic job, and I thank you, and thanks for working with me. I press a lot, I know, I ask for a lot, I whine, I cry, I throw fits, and say, why can't we do this for these people if they just want to start a business in Clackamas County? So thank you for allowing us to speak today. I appreciate being here, and look forward to seeing you at the next one. Cool.
Go for it.
Well, I want to say thank you, Diana, for coming on board, because one of the things you need to realize, ladies and gentlemen, that we have 2 business owners on this commission, Commissioner Salas and Commissioner Hill, so they know firsthand exactly what it takes to maintain a solid profitable business in challenging times. So thank you both for that. But let me switch a little bit and just put another plug in for our Tourism Development Council, because Diana, we are not only going to be having grants through our business and community services, and also we give scholarships to Clackamas Community College students. I think you mentioned that. We will be announcing soon dollars for tourism development. And what we're hoping is we have a number of agricultural producers. I know that you testified on the bill because we were having issues with land use, no surprise there, that some of these small agricultural producers, they're having on-farm family events and are using other methodologies to get people to get access to their products, get access to see what it is like to be in a rural community and have cows and be on a farm. I used to do that too myself years ago. Really to look at that regulatory environment and make it easier for them to survive. It's not being anti-land use, it's being sensible in what you are allowed to do on your property so you can survive as a small agricultural business. And those grants are going to be forthcoming largely through tourism, I understand that as well. Yeah. All the economic development, but you're also actually making it, if I understand this, available to those folks who have these kinds of programs out in the county. And let me end by telling you exactly what we do within the county real quick. Economic development, supportive housing services, infrastructure, libraries, parks, broadband expansion, transportation system updates, veteran services, short-term rentals, recovery-oriented system of care and disaster management. We are the lunchbox, okay? Counties are the lunchbox of government, and if you name it, we actually are the ones that really do it. So.
Yeah, my comments are I just want to point out a few of our successes. I mentioned earlier that we've gotten more done in the last 3 years than we've done in 15 years I've been a commissioner. And that is to the credit of not only my colleagues here, but also our staff, and not all our staff here today, of course. They're not. We have 2,500 people in the workforce. But I just wanted to say that, you know, the environment here, Ben spoke this a little bit, the business environment here it's welcoming, right, compared to our neighbors to the north, right? Our neighbors to the north are dealing with challenges with homelessness and drug use on the street that we're not dealing with. And that's not an accident, right? We're doing a lot in that. We have invested a lot. We have opened up a new health center. We opened up a 23-hour stabilization center. We're doing a lot of treatment housing. We're working on a recovery center. We built 2 libraries. We built a courthouse. I mean, we're doing a lot. And we've done that without raising taxes. We've done that without impacting businesses in a negative way. But we're providing the services that make Clackamas County a place to be, a place to live the American dream. And without all those assets, we would be successful. And again, that's a collaboration with all of us. And we're working hard. I'm proud of the team we have here today. And we're going to do more. I don't think any of us are just taking this job to sit on our butts and do nothing. We are motivated people that want to get stuff done. And I'm just proud of what we're doing.
Sir Robert, close
Here
it out.
you go, Robert. It's like Fred.
Well, I think just kind of closing, you know, I kind of look at it this way. What do you expect out of us, right? What do you expect? And when I look at it, I expect that what you want us to listen. You want us to solve problems. You want us to work together. You want us to be respectful, and you also want us to be robots. I think that we're all working to do that. And as you see in government, what's himself to say, it appears very dysfunctional, right? And you want us to work with a sense of urgency. And that's where I want to come back to some of the things that I do care a lot about. And that is children, families, mentally ill, disabled, those people who struggle with addiction. And we have been on a fast track. I mean, Oregon is at the bottom of this retreat in the entire United States. I mean, it's appalling. And we are doing a groundbreaking for in We've got the money, we're ready to do it, we're ready to move ahead, but we're also addressing it thanks to create the work that they do with our youth. It starts there. We've got the Recovery High School. I mean, we are an example. And we have Bloomin' Boutique. We help support families, you know. And so when I really look at it, it is about us working together. And a lot of times we sit down and we have hard conversations, but the bottom line is that is how we're going to work our way out of this. It is tough right now. We have a tough decision ahead of us, but I just want all of you to know we are committed. We care about this county. That's the only reason I'm here is because I do love this county and the people that are here. And really, together, we really can make a difference. And so I just want to thank you all for showing up today, and we sure appreciate it.
We want to thank our vision sponsors again. We also want to thank Clackamas Community College and the county for helping us put this on. And I want to thank all of you guys for coming out, checking us out. Any questions about what's going on in the chamber? www.yourchamber.com. Thank you guys. We appreciate it.